Good afternoon, and thank you all for holding. Your lines have been placed on a listen-only mode until the question and answer portion of this conference. I would like to remind all parties the call is now being recorded. If you have any objections, please disconnect at this time. I would now like to turn the call over to Leslie Evans. Thank you. You may begin.
Hello, good afternoon and good morning. I am Leslie Powell Evans, Community Affairs Section Chief here at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. I'm based here in Washington, D.C., and I manage the FDIC's Community Affairs program throughout the country. Welcome to our quarterly Money Smart for Small Business Town Hall meeting. We are pleased to learn that a majority of attendees today are actually not Money Smart Alliance members or using Money Smart for Small Business. We hope that today's program will help you to move forward with your plans to implement your Money Smart program and to join the Alliance. So first, for first-time attendees, and again, a special welcome to you, please be aware that Money Smart for Small Business Town Halls are intended for intermediary organizations, such as financial institutions and nonprofits working with entrepreneurs and small businesses. And the Money Smart Alliance is a community of practice for organizations using or considering to use the Money Smart curriculum. So this convening was created to facilitate conversations among organizations using and considering to use Money Smart for Small Business. So please be sure to ask your questions during the question and answer segment. And please let us know how we can help support your plans to use Money Smart for Small Business. So going forward, I'm going to use the acronym MSSB to refer to Money Smart for Small Business because it's a mouthful. Okay, so today we are featuring an MSSB program led by the Office of Planning and Economic Development in the City of Central Falls, Rhode Island, and the Rhode Island Small Business Development Center, or SBDC. In this presentation, you will hear about the collaboration and coordination efforts used to run a successful program. You will hear from some of the key partners that support this promising Rhode Island Money Smart for Small Business program. So, following my remarks, as usual, we'll hear from our partner agency, the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA. SBA is with us because we jointly, FDIC and SBA, developed the Money Smart for Small Business curriculum. So today we have Rachel Carden. She's Program Manager at the SBA Office of Small Business Development Centers. She joins us to provide a brief overview of the SBDC program, as well as the introduction to the SBDC organization that we're featuring here today. There are many types of organizations we want to reach with our Money Smart for Small Business programs, but SBDCs are very important because of their support to entrepreneurs and small businesses seeking technical assistance and financing to start or expand their businesses. We know that there are many SBDC representatives today joining us on this webinar, and we encourage you to visit us at our exhibit and attend our workshop during the 2017 America's SBDC Annual Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. So, without further ado, hello, Rachel. Please tell us about yourself and the SBDC network.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I'm very excited to be here today to highlight the Money Smart program and the Small Business Development Centers. In today's world economy, financial capability is vital to entrepreneurs and small business owners trying to plan, launch, manage, grow, and succeed in the marketplace. Whether your target market is global or your local neighborhood, the SBA's network of small business development centers can help at every stage, turning your entrepreneurial dream into a booming business. SBDCs offer small business assistance to nascent entrepreneurs and small businesses by providing a wide variety of information and guidance in central and easily accessible branch locations. The program is a cooperative effort of the private sector, the educational community, and federal, state, and local governments. It enhances economic development by providing small businesses with management and technical assistance. There are 63 LEAD centers, 1 in every state. Texas has 4 and California has 6. The District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, and the Virgin Islands, with a network of more than 900 service centers. In each state, we have a LEAD center, which sponsors the SBDC program and manages it. The LEAD organization coordinates program services offered to small businesses through a network of sub-centers and satellite locations in every state. Sub-centers are located at colleges, universities, community colleges, vocational schools, chambers of commerce, and economic development corporations. SBDCs can help with business planning, financial strategies that include lending programs, mastering overseas markets through exporting, public sector procurement tactics, and specialty materials for veterans and women-owned business owners. In closing, SBA has many local resources that can help you facilitate your local Money Smart for Small Business workshops. You can visit our website, as you can see here, and just type in your zip code, and it will, your closest SBDC, Women's Business Center, or SCORE chapter will show up. Please let me know how I can help you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. So at this point, I'll turn the program over to Paula Diaz. Paula is the Senior Community Affairs Specialist based here in Washington, D.C. that's responsible for our Money Smart for Small Business program. She'll help us through the webinar features, she'll review the agenda, and introduce our speakers today. Paula.
Thank you, Leslie. I am Paola Diaz, a Senior Community Affairs Specialist focusing on economic inclusion opportunities related to small business at the FDIC. I support our community affairs specialists nationwide to assist organizations that are using or considering to use Money Smart for small business by referring them to examples of work by other organizations that are similar to them, conducting presentations to their stakeholders about the value of MSSB, and coordinating train-the-trainer opportunities for MSSB instructors. Again, welcome and thanks for investing this time to learn about how some organizations are using Money Smart for small business. In your screen, or slide number 6, you have a visual of your webinar platform. On the left-hand side, you should view the slides, and on the right-hand side, you should view various functions. I encourage you to connect with the other participants by using the chat feature, marked with the number 3 in the image, and ask questions to the panelists as they come to mind or during the designated times with the Q&A feature, which is marked as number 4 in the image. When using the chat or Q&A functions, please use the window number 7 to type your question and make sure you hit send, number 8. If at some point you lose the slides, look for a green and blue circle icon, number 1, in the image, and look for it in your taskbar, which is at the bottom of your screen, or click in the middle of your screen to recover the platform's bar, which is number 2 in this image. At the end of the webinar, we will conduct a quick poll to give us a sense of what you learned during today's event. The polling questions will pop up on the right-hand side of your screen as number 9. Now that you know how to use the chat function, please test it for the next 2 minutes while I finish my remarks. If you have technical difficulties with the web access, please email John Gustafson at jgustason@fdic.gov or call 1-866-900-1011 for troubleshooting assistance, or simply use the PDF with the slides that were sent to you earlier today, which are also available at the event website in the Webinar Info tab. We will be making references to the slide numbers from time to time. The agenda for today includes very brief reminders that will help you learn more about MSSB after this webinar, and 4 speakers that work together and independently on using Money Smart for small business and assisting entrepreneurs to access capital for their business. Please be aware that these and other MSSB Town Hall webinars since 2016 are recorded for future reference, and they can be found in our website. Most of today's audience are not Alliance members. Please join after this webinar. Even if Money Smart or MSSB are a small part of what you do, it is important to join because being in our Money Smart Alliance list gives you exposure to our website visitors, which includes entrepreneurs and bankers. The Money Smart for Small Business Train the Trainer curriculum allows you to host a training for instructors anytime. But if you want the local FDIC staff to help, please coordinate with them directly. Our credit and banking module update is underway. Please continue to provide your feedback directly to me. My contact information and how to find the local FDIC Community Affairs staff in your area is in the last slide. MSSB modules and flyers in English and Spanish can be downloaded for free at the FDIC catalog website, which is shown on this slide. All other information about MSSB is in the FDIC Money Smart web page under the Money Smart for Small Business section. We will address questions received during the registration process at the 2 designated question and answer segments, but participants can contact panelists at any time during this webinar. Please be aware that all participants' lines are muted. Now, the most important part of the agenda, our speakers. Each of them will introduce themselves and their organizations, followed by a description of how they work together and independently with the Money Smart curriculum and in assisting entrepreneurs to access capital for their business. First, we have Mark Allio. Mark, please join us.
Thank you, Paula, and thank you all for attending today's webinar. I'm very grateful to be able to share our story with you all. Before we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about my background here. I am currently the Assistant Director for the Planning and Economic Development Department for the City of Central Falls. And I've been here a little less than a year. I came here from a short stint with Rhode Island's only community college. And prior to that, I ran the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center Network's Boston Regional Office minority years. And during that time, working with my small team of 2, we were able to serve about 10,000 small business owners and entrepreneurs. Half of those we provided counsel to, and half attended our various workshops, which were developed by myself. We sponsored about $27 million in capital. We're very proud of the impact we were able to have in the greater Boston market. And I worked with a number of partners, including some of the folks that are going to speak today. Prior to the SBDC, I co-founded 2 companies. One was a manufacturing company, and the other was an e-ticketing service provider. And prior to that, I had worked for some nonprofits. I'm a proud MBA from Babson College, and got my undergrad in Canada. So this is a snapshot of Broad Street in Central Falls, and I thought it was apropos. You can see on the left-hand side of the photograph a spire, which is City Hall, and there is where I sit as we speak. But in the foreground, you could see a picture that kind of signifies the situation here in Central Falls. We see the only bank with a physical presence in town, Bank of America, and just before it we have one of our several check cashing establishments. Further down Broad Street, we have the Navigant Credit Union, which is one of our key partners in delivering the curriculum here in Central Falls, and I'll speak about them a little bit later. As we get started, I just want to thank and acknowledge the core partners that I've worked with the Money Smart curriculum here. First of all, I want to thank Paula for all her diligent work, and a mentor of mine, Paul Horwitz, who runs the regional office, the New England regional office for FDIC. I partner with Manuel Batlle, who will be speaking here today with the SBDC here in Rhode Island. Our host is the Navigant Credit Union, and unfortunately they can't be with us today, but they have been absolutely instrumental in hosting this program and supporting the program and serving as a key resource for the citizens of Central Falls. I have worked closely with Accion USA, which is the nation's largest microlender, and we have Leandro Frere representing us today. And then last but not least, Claudia Cardoza from Coastway Community Bank, who is one of the few members of the Money Smart Alliance here in Rhode Island and actually delivers a version of the Money Smart curriculum locally. We have a number of supporting organizations, which you can see below, multiple municipalities, the Rhode Island District Office of the SBA, Center for Women in Enterprise, an SBA resource partner. I also want to mention that we have, in our general area, all the major banks are here, and we have, through our Rhode Island Commerce Department, have many alternative lenders and partners. So thanks to Paula, she was able to provide us with this interesting graphic about the different the amount of bank representation here in Rhode Island, and you can see as well the coverage as well as in the shaded areas, the proportion of low and moderate income communities. And Central Falls falls right smack in the middle of that LMI nexus, and that's something that we're trying to change here in the city. So we are the smallest city in the smallest state. We're only 1.2 square miles, 20,000 residents, 400 businesses. At one point, Central Falls was the most densely populated city in the country, and now we're still in the top 15. We are a majority minority city. We're two-thirds Latino. We're half immigrants, and there's a fair amount of folks here that speak little or no English. It's primarily a Spanish-speaking town, but not exclusively. We also are well represented by a lot of Portuguese residents as well. We have the dubious distinction of having among the highest rates of unemployment and the lowest rates of per capita income in home ownership. So we are a classic, what is called in the field, I believe, an unbanked community, where we do have one bank with a physical location, one credit union, 3 payday loan providers, and 12 multi-service agencies, which in the Latino community is fairly common. The city was the 3rd municipality in the country to file for bankruptcy, and thankfully, after 6 years, we have just emerged this July. So we are lovingly referred to as the comeback city. Just a brief profile of our business sector. As you can see, about half of our 400 businesses are in retail and hospitality, and most of these are small mom-and-pop shops. We also have a fair amount of personal service business owners, a small manufacturing corridor, but this is really a situation where we have a large amount of lifestyle businesses. We have 2 commercial corridors, one being Dexter, the other being Broad Street. The challenge here is really trying to attract outside capital and revenues for our businesses outside of Central Falls and trying to increase the diversity of businesses here and make capital available for expansion. We've got some major things happening on the horizon, including a major train station, a regeneration initiative that will transform Broad Street, opportunities to launch cultural branding programs and the like. So we're trying to increase prosperity in a number of ways. So I have, over the years, been both a student and a teacher of a variety of different types of entrepreneurial training programs and financial-oriented programs. And here's a few things that I like about Money Smart. First of all, I feel very strongly that there's a strong link between personal financial literacy and business literacy. And I believe that the Money Smart curriculum really bridges that gap in a way that is easily accessible by people of varying backgrounds. It's obviously free. There are resources to support the delivery. The modules, the 13 modules, can be delivered not only as a series but standalone. And I find that's important because not a lot of folks are able to make the commitment to attend regularly a multi-unit instructional program. The fact that the curriculum is available in Spanish is key, at least in this market. In this market as well, you have a lot of community service organizations, and so the train-the-trainer option is key, especially if you want to expand capacity, if you will, towards the effort. I like the fact that the program is easily customizable, not only the tools, but the curriculum itself. I like the fact that you have an instructor guide, a participant guide, flyers, everything you need. It's a complete toolkit. And it has all the elements of good instructional design. It has real-life examples. The curriculum is interactive. There is assessment both prior to training and after. There are evaluations, and there's additional exercises. So it's really got all the elements there. And I also like the fact that it's easy to incorporate guest speakers and build that into other types of programming. So we have just launched, we're early stage with this, although I've been talking with FDIC for several years. This is the first time that I'm actually doing it through a vehicle. The City of Central Falls is a member of the Money Smart Alliance, and we hope that everybody will consider joining because it's certainly a worthy cause. The curriculum has 13 modules, but as you can see on this slide, I have taken the liberty of changing up the suggested order to an order that I think works well for this market. And I've taken on the slide you'll see an additional designation for what I consider feasibility training as well as financial and management training. So just something for future references. Once again, that's part of the beauty of the curriculum is that you can customize it to meet your audience's needs. This is some content that we use to get the word out about the Money Smart curriculum. We have completed 3 modules so far. We've had 60 people register. About half have actually attended, and we're starting to get some serial attendees. But basically, we decided to offer it monthly. It's hosted at the Navigant Credit Union. We welcome participants from outside of Central Falls, and we're delivering it for free. We have a variety of different ways to get the word out, but I'll get to that in a second. Here is an example of the flyer that we created using the template that is right on the FDIC Money Smart website. and basically putting in content specifically about what module is being offered, able to produce this flyer in both Spanish and English and print it out one-sided, send it as a PDF, post it throughout town. It works very easily, and you can't actually see it, but I've also introduced, added onto the flyer the link for Eventbrite, which we use for course registration. So a few things to wrap it up here. My philosophy is that math and money management are not only essential life skills, but they're critical to entrepreneurial success. And that in a market where income is short and dreams are far-ranging, it's really important to be able to reinforce the fact that launching a business or growing a business has to be based in reality. So the Money Smart curriculum does that in a particularly effective way, I think. Self-employment has got to be considered carefully because it does require resources, and you may have other obligations, including family obligations, and that has to be integrated into your plans. The Money Smart curriculum does an excellent job, I think, of giving the trainer the opportunity to explain the role of government in the whole process, not only in terms of launching a business, but also obtaining startup capital. And this is really important to be able to calibrate expectations for business owners, for entrepreneurs, so that we can maximize success in terms of obtaining capital. The some trainings focus specifically on entrepreneurship, others on financial literacy. This training does both, and of course the C's of credit are a crucial link in that training, and I think that Accion, for example, focuses in a very special way on that, and you'll hear a little bit more about that a little later. The curriculum gives us the opportunity to reinforce things like forms of organization and liability and personal obligations, and that must be reinforced frequently, at least in my experience. Based on my experience, the financial management software is now part of the landscape for success. And it used to be that debits and credits, and one had to have a grasp of financial accounting in order to succeed. But now we're able to leverage technology and programs like Quicken and QuickBooks, and so that's really important. And it's really important to be able to know how to put together a forecast and obtain those spreadsheet skills. And so I do plan to augment the Money Smart curriculum with some special sessions on those. So wrapping it up, I would just say that it's really important as you go forth to partner with organizations that have a similar mission and who are serving the same audiences, and by working together, you will be able to amplify your impact. And the Money Smart curriculum serves as a great platform for you able to do that and to reach your constituents. So with that, I will pass it on to the next speaker, my friend and colleague, Manuel Batlle. Manuel?
Thanks, Manuel. Go on. Manuel, I can move the slides for you if you want. Are you in the call?
Is he sitting with anyone? Manuel, if you are on the line, you can press *0.
Okay.
You know, this is Mark Allio again. I'm happy to, being an SBDC guy, I'm happy to
take over for that, please, by all means.
So, Manuel, if you're there, jump in at any time. I'll run through these slides until Manuel gets on the line. So I've actually known Manuel for a number of years. We met while I was with the Massachusetts SBDC, and Manuel is the director of the Providence office of the Rhode Island SBDC. And by the way, I'm a Rhode Island resident, but I did work in Massachusetts and in Boston.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I am here. Well,
okay, great. Well, here we go. You got the real thing. So
yeah.
Take it away, Manuel.
Okay, thank you, Mark. First, I'm honored to share this with Mark and Claudia and Leandro. We have been working together for the last 3 years since I came to Providence. I hold an MBA. I'm also a certified global business professional. I was born in the Dominican Republic, so I'm bilingual, Spanish and English. Before joining the SBDC, I have started 3 companies, and I also have C-level managerial experience with Fortune 500 company. So this is so an overview of how we do things. I'm going to talk how we do things, how we do it, and why we chose the Money Smart for Small Business, and the work we have been doing with the Latino community. So we are housed at the University of Rhode Island. We have been here since 1982. We're part of the national network of SBDC. We have a staff of 7, and we work closely with SBA partners and lenders. We work together with CDCs, with micro lenders, and other financial institutions. So how do we work here? As every SBDC, we do one-on-one counseling. We deliver workshops. We have outreach locations across Rhode Island. For example, I have an outreach location in Central Falls with Mark. I also have outreach locations at the Providence, Greater Providence Chamber and at the East Bay Chamber of Commerce. So we are all over the state. We have a full-time staff of 7, but we also have hourly specialized staffing. Most of our job is on business planning and financial projections. We'll do also marketing, and in any other areas that assistance is required, we reach out to different partners. So this is from our client base. We work with 400 plus clients in 2016. 90% of them would use our services in the future, and 92% of them would refer them or recommend us to other friends or relatives. So also in 2016, we were able to raise $4.6 million in capital for our clients. So to give you an example, this is of what we're doing in 2017. This is a client that we have been working with. We developed financial projections from a feasibility study and from the STAR report. For those of you who are not familiar with the STAR report is a report that benchmarks the hotel's performance against the industry in the selected city. So basically, we took the client had a 136 pages feasibility study plus the STAR report, which is 15, 20 pages long. So we took all that information, and with that, we started working on the financial projections. We had almost 53 hours of counseling with this client, and finally, a $10.6 million loan was approved, 2.7 out of it from SBA 504 and 7.8 from the bank. So why did we choose the Money Smart for Small Business? Well, first, as Mark said, because it's available in English and Spanish. Also, very important to us is that it has an excellent collateral material, beautiful, and at no cost for the participants. Also, we like that it's tailored for different audiences, for small business, for adults, for young people, and for other people. Also, as Mark said, the flexibility. You can teach it in any order you want. And as also Mark mentioned, because it's free. And that's very important for our Latino community. So, as Mark said, our sessions started being, Mark had a session in English, I had one in Spanish. So because of the size, we decided to combine both of them, and we hold them in Spanish and English, but it's not a translation. What we do is that we have like a small conversation between Mark, myself, and the participants. The classes, and that works very well. Most of the participants, even if they're not fluent in English, they understand business English, and it's a lively presentation. So another thing that we like, and we present, and as Mark said, as standalone modules. So our work with the Latino community here, I'm in charge of working with the Latino community. In 2016, we had 59 Hispanic clients. We had 194 sessions and almost 300 counseling hours. During 2016, we delivered 72 hours of workshop in Spanish, and most of those hours were sponsored by Claudia and community, and I have to thank Claudia and Coastway Community Bank. Now for this year, from 2017, we have 48 new Hispanic clients, and we have had 166 counseling hours. So to share a success story I want to talk about Raymond Brothers Tailor Shop and Laundromat. He was leasing space in a laundromat and decided that he wanted to buy the laundromat. So we had the first session to start working on his business plan in August 2015, and we're still working with him. We had 31 sessions with him, 70 hours of counseling, which if they have a value-added service of $52,000, considering the going rate for private consultants here. So we were able to get him a $100,000+ loan from the Community Advantage funds and from the Providence Business Loan Fund. This is our client when the equipment arrived at his laundromat, and that's him on the right, pushing the equipment into the laundromat. So basically, that's what we have done with the Money Smart and working with our Latino clients. So I think I'm going to pass this on to Claudia, which is the next speaker. Go ahead, Claudia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, thank you.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, it is a pleasure to be here today representing Coastway in company of such a wonderful advocates for the business community here in Rhode Island. So I work very close with Manuel, and also very familiar with the work that Accion does. I used to work for Accion as well, so I'm an Accionista. A little bit about, can someone turn the slide for me, please?
I will move the slides. We're having a problem, operator. I cannot move the slides. Thanks. Claudia, please go on.
So, yeah, my name is Claudia Cardoso. I am the Community Development Manager here for Coastway Community Bank, and as a community liaison, I build bridges with different organizations to be able to have more impact in this work. My primary functions are to manage the Coastway's financial education programs. I coordinate volunteer opportunities for my colleagues here at the bank, and I also work with individuals and businesses across the state to assess their needs, provide guidance, and connect them with associate professionals here at Coastway, but also within the network of business resources. As part of the outreach that I do on the community, I also serve in a few boards and advisories on behalf of the bank. And those organizations, some of those organizations are the United Way of Rhode Island, the Rhode Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Young Voices, which is a wonderful organization which transforms urban youth into powerful advocates in their communities, and also Dorcas International, which supports immigrants and refugees in their journey to become self-sufficient. And recently, I got appointed to the Certification Review Committee for minority business enterprises here in Rhode Island. So to tell you about Coastway, so we will not be able to see the timeline, Paola?
Thank you. I will move the slides for you going forward. Thank you.
Okay, so if you can please put it on the timeline, I will appreciate it. Excellent. Thank you. So here in this graph, you can see a timeline of our story, starting in the 1920s as the Telephone Workers Credit Union. In 2009, Coastway converted its charter into a mutual savings bank, which enabled us to provide more comprehensive array of loans and services to the local business community, and also increase our consumer offerings on FDIC insured products. Later in 2014, the bank went public, which allowed us to raise additional capital to fund continued growth. We have been successful to use this capital to increase loan volume in the small business community, but also in the residential mortgages. We have been named #1 SBA business lender in Rhode Island for 3 years in a row, which is very exciting, and are consistently named Rhode Island Housing Participating Lender of the Year, securing more mortgage loans for home buyers than any other participating lender in the state. We offer a full array of products and services for business owners, from checking accounts, merchant services, and small business loans. And we have lines of credit that usually go from $20,000 to $1 million. Term loans ranging from $25,000 to $500,000, and also commercial mortgages from as little as $25,000 to $18 million. So in terms of you're looking, oh, actually no, can you go back please to Coastway in the community? Yeah, so we are very involved in the community. I think it's just part of the fabric here at Coastway. The program, as a volunteer, as a formalized volunteer program in the organization, established in 2010. Formalized, I mean, they always have been great at volunteering, but it was just tracking the hours and encouraging more people at the bank to participate. And last year, employees of the bank volunteered over 4,800 hours to community organizations across the state. And so we're 150 employees, and since 2010, we have donated over 25,000 hours of community service. Paola, can I tell you when you can move the slide? I just wanted to show, can you go back? So, okay, so let me just go back to this one. Okay, so sorry. All right, so the slide that you're looking right now, I just wanted to point out that on your right, you can see our friends from Young Voices visiting our leadership team here at Coastway. One of the youth participated in a youth summer program, and this summer we have him actually as a teller. And I'll tell you a little more about the internship program in a minute. But I just wanted to highlight, you know, how, you know, we're out there in the community, and we enjoy all sorts of events, from, you know, Volunteer at United Way to the Providence Art Festival, which brings thousands of people together in downtown Providence to celebrate art and culture. So now we can move to the next one, please. Excellent, thank you. So here you can see part of our financial education team. In 2011, Coastway developed a financial education curriculum. All the materials were drawn from the FDIC financial education materials. We call it dollar-wise because we made it, I wasn't here at that time actually, I've been with the bank only for 2 years, but in 2011 they did a lot of flyers and there, all of these handouts that they could customize to any group, and everything was sourced from the FDIC's programs. Since that time, in 2011, we started with one person, and today we have 15 financial educators. Some of them, as you can see in the slide, we have a financial educator for each of the branches. And many of them, most of them, go out in the community with me to deliver this work. We also have a program now called Empowered by Coastway, and I'll talk a little bit about that in the next slide. So here I wanted to highlight, we work with so many different organizations around the state. We work very close with, with the City of Providence, with the City of Central Falls as well, with the CDC, of course, CWE, Accion, Social Enterprise Greenhouse, and so many other organizations that help and impact businesses throughout the state. Here I wanted to highlight 3 different partnerships that we have with different target groups. So with the Comprehensive Community Action Program, we have a partnership with them where every summer we deliver 3 or 4 classes to them. This year we were able to reach over 150 youth, high school youth, and ages from 14 to 18 years old. And we do financial education in a way that is very engaging. We use a lot of the information from the FDIC, but we also combine other programs to make it more interactive for the youth. So the Millennial Group, actually can we go, yeah. So the Millennial Group is an organization that wants to keep young professionals here in Rhode Island. Unfortunately, over time, many young people have left the state. So we have great youth taking leadership and doing activities to keep young people here employed and educated in many different aspects. So we signed an agreement with them to deliver, credit, budgeting, homeownership, and entrepreneurship workshops. And the other, of course, that I have here is in Paso, which we can talk about it a little bit further. So let me just, can you move to the next one, please? So I wanted to talk about the youth internship program. We have 4 youth, high school youth, that have been part of this program. Actually, one of them, I think, is listening to this webinar today, which I'm excited. And the idea was to bring youth to Coastway to help them understand, what banking looks like, give them a view beyond the tailored line. And I work very close with them in terms of the financial education curriculum that we deploy to youth, and they give us great feedback. It's amazing how they, we give them assignments and they get engaged and they actually help us to create a better product. So we, when it comes to working with young people, we need to engage them. We need to make sure that they have hands-on. And sometimes in some of the classes that I did for for CCAP, I noticed that these were people that didn't know each other. You know, they were coming from many, many different schools. Can you go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. So, yeah, so we noticed that many of the youth didn't know each other, and they didn't want to kind of talk to each other. So sometimes we do things that, you know, don't necessarily have to do with financial education, but we do a small activity. It takes 5 minutes, you know, with flashcards and clips to get them working together and get them excited, and we do competitions around it. When it comes to the budgeting, I mean, we have a PowerPoint presentation that we introduce throughout the session, and you know, to introduce them to all the concepts of budgeting and saving and credit. And then we have an activity where they have to do 1 year budget for the whole year, and then they get excited because it's a competition and we make it fun. So next slide, please. So this partnership with Paso, with the Rhode Island Small Business Development Center and the Paso program, which is, it translates first step, and it is that. It is the first step that you know, entrepreneurs and aspiring business owners should take to study the feasibility of their businesses. And we love this program. We have sponsored a couple of them. We're in the process of, we're working with Manuel to, in the process of recruiting, you know, all the businesses that we need for the first cohort. So as part of the sponsorship, Manuel allows me to come and give 1 or 2 classes to the business owners, and I prepare a curriculum called Credit and Access to Capital. I have combined many different curriculums from the Money Smart because I feel that it is very important for the business owners to understand the basics. So we talk about credit, we talk about borrowing basics, of course we talk about the Swiss credit and the perspective of the lender. But we want to make sure that they understand the difference between them building credit and the business building its own credit, but also how you know, the personal credit affects, you know, their ability to get funding. So I just wanted to share that, you know, even though the Paso program has a different curriculum because it's with the Kaufman Foundation, when I'm invited to speak about access to capital, I always draw from the materials of the FDIC. I love all the guides, the instructor guides, and I mean, you have everything there. You have all the information there just for you to kind of tailor certain information to the demographics that you're working with. So, you know, so thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but I do appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Claudia. At this point, we're going to ask Leandro to try to keep his remarks at about 3 minutes. We're going to be stealing about a minute from everybody. Thank you so much. Go on, Leandro. I will move your slides.
Thank you everyone for the opportunity. So my name is Leandro. I have 5 years with Accion. I have MBA from University of New Hampshire, and I speak as well Spanish and Portuguese. And prior to Accion, I used to work for JP Morgan Chase. Quickly about Accion, I want to speak about that we are safe, affordable, alternative lender. The reason is that we provide loans to people with no credit history, or they, for some reason, they don't qualify for loans with banks or community banks. So we come and we provide them with very affordable loans. Nowadays, you probably know many business owners being victims of predatory lending. And that's why it's so important, because we are the bridge. We want to help them, provide them some lending, provide them some guidance, and that's that you see right here in the second slide. So the second slide shows the typical stage of a small business finance. In the beginning, they might not have the means to apply for loans, so they go to friends, family, crowdfunding. Second option, credit cards with pretty high interest rate. So before going to the banks and SBA loans, they come to us. And then in the beginning, they might not be bankable, but Once they go through a program, once we provide technical assistance, we help them, we guide them, they'll be able to get along with the bank in the future. But initially, they come to us. So why we are different? We have flexible requirements. If a business owner has zero credit, or they have a damaged credit with a 575 FICO score, or they establish in a high-risk industry, so that's we have very flexible requirements. We have trusted, affordable products. We have loans that go up to $50,000. That's a micro loan, and then we have a special program for community advantage that goes up to $250,000. And we also have program for startups 2 years or less. And then we have high-profile partnerships. We work with Mark, we work with the SBDC, we work with Sam Adams. With the Sam Adams, we work together in seminars and a different type of work. So our goal is financial inclusion. So right here you can see that we work, 40% of our clients are female. Industry, very wide. We go for service, retail, food and beverage, wholesale. And you can see ethnicity, 44% Latin America, 25% multi-ethnicity, Caucasian, African Americans in our locations. So our goal is inclusion. In our office, we speak Portuguese, we speak Spanish, we speak Arabic. We want to make sure that everybody is included. So this is our impact. Every time we're very happy to see that every loan we give, so you can see 3.7 jobs created and sustained with each Accion loan. 95% of borrowers who keep their business open after a loan from Accion. 23% growth increase in take-home pay after a loan with Accion. A 50-point average increase in credit score after a client. I'm very happy. I have seen clients going from 0 to 680 to 700, so really causing positive impact. 79% clients report that the business is stabilized or improve their household. 66% clients report satisfaction with income earned from their businesses. And there is something else that is not there. Our delinquency rate is very low. It's below 4%. So when we work together with Mark, with SBDC, Rhode Island community, we see a positive impact happening. So we don't only provide the lending, but we provide the financial education, we provide the instruction. We sit with one by one. We make sure that they have a success story. So right here we have some of examples. One of it, Natasha. Natasha had no credit, zero credit. Nobody was able to provide them lending. So we not only provide them the lending, the technical assistance, she also attended some of your seminars, and today she has a very good credit. We have here Marcella Siders. She had less than 2 years in operations, and at the moment many banks were not able to help her. So we provide the lending as well. And then we have another story with someone who had at the time poor credit history. So we also provide them with credit coaching, how to fix the credit, how to improve it. And as you know, it's very important. So that's the difference that Accion has in the community. So that's why we work together with the city of River Falls. We work together with the SBC, with different partners. We join together forces, providing lending options, technical assistance, and we want to make a difference in the community. So again, thank you everyone for the opportunity, and I'll give back to Paula.
Thank you so much, Leandro, and to everyone for granting us a few more minutes of your time. We did receive a number of questions in the Q&A feature, and we will address all of those in a document that we will be attaching to the PowerPoint presentation and the recording of this event as soon as we have an opportunity. If you didn't have a chance to write in your question, please email it directly to me. At this point, you have in the last slide my email. Please feel free to let us know if there are more questions. Our speakers will gladly address those questions in writing. Thank you again, and operator, you can end this call.
Thank you, and this does conclude today's conference. You may disconnect
Thank
at this
you all.
time.